Old calendar dates indicate that this building has not been called home for some time. It lasted for generations in the Moretti family, who at the time were one of the largest lucrative wine merchants in the north of Italy. The building was last occupied by the courteous family of Mr. Moretti, his wife, and their son. Today, only part of the building remains standing, completely frozen in time, while the other large part of the property is slowly falling into disrepair as time goes on. And that's while memories of a life that no longer exists are still gathering dust within its walls. Let me take you with me today as we learn together about the history of this family and how people lived in Italy generations before, as we visit this timeless desolate gem together in search of clues that have remained hidden for decades. Recently, I was able to retrieve some old files from a crashed hard drive. Today I'm sharing an exploration of our first ever trip to Italy, dating back to summer 2019, almost 3 years ago. I was less experienced and knowledgeable back then, so please forgive me, and most important, enjoy watching. Another day, another episode in the beautiful country of Italy, and today I am very excited because this must be one of the most time capsule houses we have found. So let's tell you the story of these people. It was the family Moretti which lived inside of this place, and in the 18th century they started a local wine business. They used to sell all their wines to the local province. This company was passed from father to son, but then eventually in 1980 the last generation of this family died and the children didn't want to take over the business. So what happened? This house got abandoned ever since. It has been untouched for a long time. You can tell the decay in this house is absolutely incredible to see and also sad at the same time. And we are in the courtyard right now. You can see they also had a farm, wine farm. These buildings are all not really interesting. They are almost completely empty. But which took our interest is that window over there. And then we will enter the house itself and explore all the secrets of this Italian traditional wine family. I can't wait. Let's go. Okay, so we made our way in now. I can't wait to show this place to you. This is the upstairs floor, and we came inside of this room. It's already a cabinet, but this room is not really special. It's like a little bit of a storage. There's many files still left. And this creepy doll. There's a giant wooden box. I don't know which purpose it had, but probably for storage. And let's see what's behind this door. Oh, we come inside of a very dark room. Take a look. Gonna need my light in this room. Wow. As I already told in the intro, this building is a true time capsule. I think one of the best I have ever explored. This was the bedroom of the family Moretti, the Italian wine family. They had 2 single beds over here. There's also many dolls. There's even a child picture here. doll on the wall. That's eerie. And then there is an old picture of two childs, a brother and a sister. So the family Moretti had 2 children at least. Wow. I love the pattern on the wall. It's a beautiful red sofa over here. We have found many sofas which were stuffed with hay, but this one was stuffed with feathers. Way more expensive, but also way more comfortable. Now we have a vanity over here. Oh, with another baby picture as well. Those are actually a lot of old pictures. Take a look. All baby pictures. Sometimes you're really asking yourself why everything like this is left behind. Yeah, you see the child. They're racing up. Probably the woman is Mrs. Moretti, and the woman on the left is grandmother. Take a look. Such a cute little boy. Yeah, I think the rest of the pictures are too personal to show you. Still, it's a pretty long time ago, but... And then we have this vanity over here. And typical Italian style of the curtains. Beautiful pattern in it. Dark red curtains. Wow. Such a beautiful place. Must have been very cozy back in its days. Old picture of a boy. Looks like he had his first school day. His first day going to school. It's from 1935. And this must have been a very important person in the family. But this was not Mr. Moretti. Maybe this was his dad, the dad of the actual owner who started the wine business. And then over here we have a beautiful wooden bench. And what's cool of these benches is we have found them before, and they always have this hidden thing you can lift up. And there is an old newspaper. Let's take a look. So this newspaper is from August 1971. Fortunately, I'm not really good at Italian, so I don't know what it is about. But I always love finding these old newspapers in these buildings. This was news when people were living inside of this building, when there still was life in this derelict place. Such a controversial belief. Alright, let's put the newspaper back. Close this one again. So over here is a giant hallway. There's many chairs on each side. I don't know why. There's so many cobwebs in this building. It has been abandoned but also preserved for a very long time. Not many people who have been inside. I guess this was another bedroom. The actual beds are gone, only the mattresses are left. Over here is a calendar from 1967. So maybe this place is even longer abandoned than we were thinking. Well, there is a lot of decay. We are only assuming things, and we are of course not sure of everything. There's a giant cobweb going through the wall room over here. This looks like a priest or a pope to me as a certificate. So apparently there is another hallway on the upstairs. There's many open doors. I want to take a look inside every single room. So this looks to me like a working room. Many old books. What's that over there in the chair? It's really strange. What was the purpose of this? Was it a perfume dispenser? Looks so mysterious. This was definitely the working desk. Over here they would manage their whole wine business. There's also many books, so probably they were used by the children, because we are assuming that the children graduated their college and eventually they just wanted to do something different than making wine. And that is how actually the business stopped and the house got abandoned. This must have happened around 1967 till 1980. I guess this was used as a kitchen. There's a record. A picture. Also from the same woman and the grandmother and the baby again. I can't really relate where this room was used for. There's a lot of garbage. When we look through all the garbage, we can reveal the story of the past owners of this property. Woman who died. Over here is an obituary notice of a woman who died. Don't know if it was the woman of the family because she doesn't have the same surname. Some old film reels over here. Take a look at this painting. I'm wondering if this was maybe the daughter of the family Moretti, that they painted it themselves. It's quite well done how they sketched it. And then comes the decay part. This is the aftermath of the place being abandoned for more than 30, maybe even 40 years. And this is absolutely fascinating to see. I'm standing on the edge now, I gotta be safe. It's really fascinating to see this, because this used to be another floor and now it's completely collapsed. The piles of bricks, the roof panels, everything has fallen down, but over there you see a door, and that used to be the actual main door of the house. Nothing is left of it. You can only tell by the doors that this used to be a room. Now it's a complete ruin. So over here we can go downstairs, but let's first see what's left on this floor. Wow. Take a look. This used to be a hallway back in the days. There used to be a wall over here at the part which is now completely collapsed. And then they used to hang up their clothes here. There's such a big contrast between how these people lived and how their home has been decaying in time. Wow. This place is such an amazing time capsule. I keep on saying it, but this absolutely sparks my mind. Because this is no modern house. This is untouched, and then it has been decaying in time, which is unbelievable to see. Okay, so this was another bedroom. Over here is a vanity. I cannot walk further than this because you will see why. There is a wardrobe, and then this is their bed. The floor is completely dug in at this point. The bed is beautiful, but it's not standing straight up anymore. This was Mr. Moretti back in his days, when he still was a child. And there is another religious artifact on the wall. So these people definitely were very religious. And I love this bed. Wow, what a beautiful bed. There on the wall you see another picture. It's very small now, but the same one is hanging on the wall downstairs. That is Mr. Moretti in his later days. And then this wardrobe again. If you take a look at the roof, it will not take very long until this place is collapsing at all points, because the rainwater dripping and falling on the roof will eventually get heavy. There's even cracks in the wall. So much memories were built inside. Sometimes I'm thinking really poetic about these things, and then I think life, to live, it's such so relative, because what happens to us if we pass away? What happens to our homes and all the memories which were made inside of these beautiful homes, where you felt yourself, where you could be yourself and live your life, and then it's not worth anything anymore, and nature takes the overhand, and these houses get fully decayed, and they are just left to die. So over here we have the residence of a chair, also completely has been decaying. Wow, take a look on top of the door. I think this was Mr. Moretti in his older days. 3 portrait pictures of him, and all 3 have been fully faded because of all the dust. What's behind this door? Oh, there's a bathroom. It's very dirty and not going inside. And yet there is another door over here. The upstairs floor was pretty big. What was this room used for? Can we go to the roof? We can go to the roof over here. I think it used to be an attic. I gotta be careful though, because we already saw that the floor was collapsing at some points of the top floor. But this used to be their attic. At least the remains of it. Wow. Feels so strange to walk on top of this place, because it has been collapsing at all points. Oh, there's giant lizards. That's cool. Let's try if I can film them before they're gone. They're probably scared. Yeah, they're already gone. Oh no, there he is. Now he's gone. So this is what their attic used to look like. There's really nothing left on the attic because the whole roof above me has just collapsed. I think they used to keep animals here as well, And there, underneath me, that was the bathroom we explored. I'm not going to walk on this floor, but it looks like they kept animals there, definitely. And then look at these giant gallons of water. I'm wondering how much liter went in such a gallon. What do you think? I think definitely about 20 liters for sure. But just leave it down in the comment section, because I'm always curious about your thoughts if you're watching our videos. Okay, so I noticed that there is even a wall print with mooses over there. Well, it's time to go downstairs. So as you can see, this is what the main entrance looks like from downstairs. It's absolutely incredible. And the thing I really think it's so fascinating is these rooms are fully collapsed, but you still see the remains of the old furnishments. There was a chair, and there on the wall there's even some old child pictures. So you can still tell how the interior looked before this whole place collapsed. And that's what it makes so cool to do urban exploration and to find all these old derelict places. This old vinyl. Odeon. Is there a year on it? I can't seem to find a year. And there is a radiator with a book. Oh! This is the Vesuvius volcano. So what we actually did 4 days ago, we went to Pompeii. That is a very old historical Roman city in Italy, and it underwent a volcano eruption. Okay, so when this volcano erupted, part of the city of Pompeii got attacked by it, and eventually all the old parts were remained under the thick volcano layer and the magma. We were there. Il Vesuvio. So the old historic book. There's actually a lot inside of it. There's this creepy doll. Well, let's take a look behind this door. So this room, it will definitely blow your mind. This is the most beautiful decay room I have seen through my whole career as an urban explorer. Take a look. This is absolutely unbelievable. So there's a fireplace with an old picture. This was not Mr. Moretti, but someone else. And then we have this chandelier on the wall. But this is the most crazy thing. So the floor is completely gone, and that sofa over there, it's only resting on one small part of the ground. It only takes one move and it will just fall down on the floor. Right down the basement. At that wine cellar. I have never seen this. This is such decay to the maximum potential. And there is this vanity. Old picture from the daughter of the family Moretti. And this was again Mr. Moretti back in his younger days. Looks like he's having fun. Over here is another room. It's pretty dark inside of this room. There's a giant cabinet. Oh, I like this sofa. Take a look at the print of it. Oh. And then we got this beautiful fireplace. Take a look, this is a big one. It's almost as big as in the Home of the Sleeping Dog we filmed, but this is so cool. It even had doors, so you could hide it. This was an actual fireplace, and you would just think that it was an ordinary cabinet. But you can tell by the chimney that this was used as a fireplace. And there's also coals left inside. And of course, a wine family had a bottle of wine. And what's the most famous in Italy is the 𝗦𝘁cie, and that's the red wine. Over here they had their stove from the brand Kraft. It sounds like a German brand, but I'm not sure, because we are still in Italy, of course. And then I noticed this bucket over here. If you lift it up, there is much space in it. Let me show it to you properly. I was wondering where they use this for, and I think probably to boil water. And of course Italian love pasta, spaghetti and all these meals, so maybe they used it to boil the pasta and the spaghetti inside the water when it was heated up through the stove plate and the furnace. So it's time to show you one of the most outstanding rooms inside of this historical time capsule. This was their beautiful dining room. Take a look at it. Wow. It's just frozen in time. Over here we have some very old-fashioned chairs. I think this was the brother of Mr. Moretti. And yet over here, old picture of their children, which are having fun on holiday at the beach. Take a look over there. What would he have used this for? These nails. And then a china cabinet with some old plates and very much old pictures. There's so much child pictures in this place. Makes me sad. These children are grown-up adults nowadays, and they have no idea that all their old pictures are inside this derelict home, probably. What is this? Looks like a shell. It's definitely a shell. And then we have yet another beautiful fireplace. Let's take a look behind the curtains. I don't think that this fireplace was functional. And on top of this non-functional fireplace there are so many old pictures. As you already know, I love finding these old pictures in these derelict places, because they tell the story of the owners who used to live inside of this house. Wow. I'm wondering who all these people were in the family. I think this is a picture of Mr. Moretti when he married together with his wife. This is an old Bible, so they were Roman Catholic. And this was Mr. Moretti himself. This was painted by an artist from Milan. He has a very typical moustache. So there is a very old-fashioned cabinet made out of wood. There's many details inside. Also take a look at the stained glass. These actually look like smileys or something. And then we have a very old picture over here when they did their marriage, probably around 60 to 70 years ago, in black and white, full of dust. What's this over here? Very old inscription. Looks to me like something religious. Maybe it's an Italian Bible, but I'm not sure. Angels. Oh, take a look. They use this for all the forks, knives, spoons. Okay, and right left to the cabinet there is a beautiful antique. And honestly, I did not know what this was, but Jordi from the Bros of Decay is now behind the camera. And he told me that he thinks that this used to be on a train, or maybe next to a train railway, a very old light. This must have been worth a lot of money if you restore it now. What it's saying? Beram. Maybe it's an Italian city. I don't know. Then over here, there's another couch. Red pattern. With flowers. And right above it, there is the old family picture. And you can see the same man with the moustache. Mr. Moretti, his wife, and a beautiful son. It's very cool what he's wearing. I think it's definitely style from back in the days. And also for the woman. You see, the painting is still hanging on this. Will not last long until they just fall down. And over here we have a very old-fashioned vacuum cleaner. It's very heavy actually. It's from the brand 𝗦𝘁𝗍𝗶𝗆. I don't know why, but that brand actually sounds familiar to me, like I've heard it before. And then this chair. Everything we see of the furnishments, it's fully decaying. People used to hang up their clothes over here. And I noticed this is from an animal, a paw from an animal with old fur on it. It's far enough. Very disgusting. Okay, and this over here is a real time capsule. It looks to me honestly like a setup done by photographers, but still, it's absolutely amazing to see that their table is still made up. The plates, the forks, the knives, a bowl of soup, but now it's rainwater. There's even there's worms and fish inside of the water. You see it? Then they, of course, they had a giant bottle of red wine when they were having dinner. Drank them from these small glasses. They use this probably for tea or for coffee. There's another old picture. I think this was the woman, Mrs. Moretti. And I saw only one thing in this room. I want to highlight it. Next to this chair, behind all the cobwebs, there's another old picture. And it's very hard to tell what's happening here, but to me it looks like this was Mr. Moretti on his wedding day with his mother. So the grandmother of the children. So over here on these two chairs there's a giant book. And I think this was the whole administration of their wine company. Of their whole business. You can see over here would stand the price of the product. Seta prodotta. Then the numbers of which wine product they were shipping. And then over here you can see the total profit they made. So you can tell that this family had a business. This looks to me like this was a living room. 3 chairs. Also in this room is beautiful wall print. And this table has been fully dug in. There is another fireplace. I noticed that it's pretty hard to keep this place warm because there's many fireplaces. I don't know what this painting is doing here, but it's fully destroyed. I think this was an old picture when the children of Mr. Moretti and Mrs. Moretti went to college. Or maybe it was Mr. Moretti himself back in the days when he was following his study to make wine in a professional manner. So this room is empty, and this leads us actually to their barn. It's fully overgrown with trees and bushes, as you can see. Oh, and look at this pile of bricks. They're actually coming from the ceiling over there. You see, the pile of brick used to be there, and now it's just all fallen down. I hope a brick will not land on my head when it falls down. And they must have kept animals, because we took a look over here. Yeah, you can tell that there used to be animals inside of here. There's also an old tire, probably from a bicycle. So currently climbing this massive dump of all the bricks which have fallen down, and the boys actually found old remains of a kitchen somewhere over there. Where did you see the refrigerator?
It's not in here.
Oh yeah, it's just fallen down. Maybe it's even from the top floor over there, but I'm not sure. Quite looks like this was the kitchen. Okay, so let's climb down very carefully, because those are all the remains of the ceiling which is collapsed. But we have to, because the last part I have not shown you yet is the actual basement where all the wine was produced in the wine cellars. And you can tell it's pretty dodgy to reach it, but it's worth it in the end. Oh wow. This was another small hallway where they also used to hang up clothes. So this was just a storage pod, also located in the basement area. Well, it's quite a dump of everything. And there we go, inside this very airy but traditional Italian wine cellar basement. Those are all the wine cellars. There are in total 4 of them in this part. And after they produce the wine in these cellars, they used to store them in all these bottles. And these bottles are still filled with red wine. Take a look at the red substance which is inside of the bottles. No way. That's just been left. And when they had manufactured the wine and want to ship it, they would put them inside of these bottles. Wow. You can tell they had a big business going on here. Oh, this one's massive. Take a look at the size of these massive cellars. Okay, so right behind me there is something straight out of a movie. This corridor filled with all wine cellars is completely fluted. I wish I could go in there, but I can't. I don't have my swimming pants with me after all. Nah, just kidding. I wouldn't do it anyway. But there's so many old bottles of wine which are still unopened. 𝗦𝘁cie is this one saying. The cork is still left inside of this bottle. Hear the noise of the wine which is still inside? Unbelievable. Probably this is red wine. Well, this is the furthest I can go. And inside of this mysterious wine cellar in Italy, I will take off my mask for this. I want to close this episode again. I want to thank you for watching. This place was a true time capsule. I absolutely adored exploring. If you liked it too, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, comment down below. If you have the money, you can support us on Patreon through the link in the description. And after all, we will see you on our next adventure. Peace out.